And although people don't know about you in this very moment, the world would know soon. That's how you have to look at it. That's how I look at it on certain things. Like, it's cool, okay, but just keep going. Eventually, it's gonna happen.
That's all.
You just have to keep going, and it has to be within to know, like, in a humble way, I could do it.
It is 2026 out here in Phoenix, Arizona, and before we get into anything,
my God,
got my boy up, Mr. Julian. How you doing, bro? This is first week in 2026. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited. Yeah, like I said, we have a clean slate. 2026.
All A's.
Clean slate, absolutely. All A's, straight A's.
Straight A's.
Pluses, facts. So yeah.
No C's on this side.
For all of us, yeah. No doubt.
No, man, I love that. Today's going to be a special day because I feel like the conversations that we're going to get into, we've had time and time again, maybe even the earlier episodes in 2025 and 2024, but I think it's always good to revisit things. You know, I want to make sure that we're starting off the year hot and we're making sure that the things that we are aligning with goes further than just individually. So it has to go into your friends. And that's what we're going to spend a lot of time talking about today. So let's pick up where we left off a while back, where we were mentioning how your friend group is a direct reflection of who you are as a person.
No doubt.
And I know some people may disagree in certain aspects of that, but you know, what do you look for in, it sounds bad, but like recruiting friends, we won't say that, but like, what do you look for in the solid friend? Like, what does that person look like to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's not something that you can look for. Like that's the disclaimer. It just has to be, you know, I genuinely think it's an energy thing. So like who you are just naturally disseminate, and then people who you're like will just gravitate towards you, or you'll gravitate towards them. But loyalty for sure, that's the biggest thing I would say is loyalty.
That's a good one. That's a real good one.
And I don't genuinely, like me, I don't look for weekend friends. Like that's not me. That's not my vibe.
Explain what a weekend friend is, because I feel like there needs to be some explanation behind that, because a lot of people will have their own assumptions.
Yeah. So that's just like, everybody goes out in a sense, but a weekend friend is Friday night or it's Thursday. You hit such and such up and you all about to go out, or you only converse when it's the weekend, when you're going out, when there might be women around, or when you're going to different spots, things like that. But for me, it has to be fully encompassing. So it has to be like, no matter when, like we're friends Monday through Sunday.
I like that, man.
365. Yeah. Like we can go out, of course, but also like throughout the day, speaking, pulling up, and also when things aren't necessarily good, like that's real friendship. Like,
I like that.
Everybody can be cool when things are going good in life, but it's like, if your boy calls you at 2 a.m. and he has a flat, or he doesn't know where his keys are, or just different situations, are you going to pick up? Are you going to pull up? Things like that matter. So for me, it's 365. It's like, if I consider you a brother or a friend, that's what it is.
I like
it's,
that.
It's not. It's not just for the weekend. It's not just for a specific time frame. It's all the time. There's no off switch. So for me, it's very minuscule. Yeah. Because with that, if I consider you a friend, my phone's not on do not disturb. It's all the time. So that's what I would just say. It's way more, but
we'll get into it. We'll get into that conversation a little bit later. But I think coming from a small town, like moving out here in 2020, it was really different for me because we go out, but not to the extent of what it looks like here. You go out on a Monday and turn up and have some fun. So I think when I got out here, it was pretty wild that you would only hear from certain people after Thursday hits. Thursday after work, it's like, yo, bro, what are you up to? It's like, bro, I was just hitting you up Monday at 5 a.m. for a gym workout, and you're over here not hitting me until Thursday. I'm busy, and I think that's a lot of the conversation that I want to have today is like the busyness that we get into, and just the areas of excuses that can come up for certain people that, yes, are validated on their end, but man, you got to view a friendship like a relationship. It's got to be the same priority. It's got to be the same amount of work. And a good way that I remember a pastor was talking about is like, guys need to have 2 a.m. friends. Like you said, who are you going to be able to pick up your phone and call at 2 a.m. if something happens? And the person that shows up at 2 a.m., that's a genuine friend. Absolutely. That's a real blessing to have in your life, to be able to know if you just have one, you're winning. Absolutely. You're rich. That's what he would say. So a lot of today we'll be focusing on just, what a quality friend looks like and how to build your circle, that's going to help you build a legacy over time. Yeah. So we talked about it again. I know, again, a lot of conversations that we've had have been in conversation. But when it comes to winning, bro, that's what I want to start off this first point on is when it comes to winning, your boys are sometimes not really there showing support. People in general, whether you're making music, running a podcast like we're doing, or just playing a sport. Do you ever find like a lot of people in these 10 plus friend groups are not seeing the support that they should be getting from their true friends? Is that an issue?
Man, it's crazy that you were talking about that because I think about that often. And I think anybody that's on their journey, that's excelling, or that's on their path, you'll see it. Like you'll see it. You'll see, and especially I think what it is there's levels to it. So in the beginning, there might be people like rooting for you, like, I like what you're doing, this and that. But the nuance is when you really start to elevate within it, when you're really starting to do stuff within it, when they really see like, oh, he's taking it serious, she's taking it serious, and they can see in the product like that you're not playing, then you start to see like the people start to like retract. Because it's almost a mirror that's held up in the sense of
that's exactly what it
is. They see
bro.
like,
that's
oh no,
crazy
you're really going for it, and you're doing it, and you're really going all in within it, and it's quality, and they're seeing how good it is, and that's why I said in the previous episode, people have to get out the mind frame of thinking that they're going to receive support when they're on their journey. That's not how it goes. For other people that you come in contact with that are also on their journey, they'll see you and be like, nah, bro, I see you doing your thing. Because they're doing their thing. So they see it and then they'll encourage you. But for the most part, you have to like really resonate in the fact of when you're going for it, a lot of people aren't going to be happy for you. And that's why I say having a whole bunch of friends is wild. It's not real. It's not real because if you for 1 second, and this is not to be pessimistic, this is just to be a realist. If we say you have, let's say 10 friends, if you think on your journey and you're talented and you have a gift and people can see the light of God on you and they can see, the talent and the blessings on you. If you think all 10 of your friends are happy for you, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. One of your friends will genuinely, if we're going to like say, will genuinely be happy for you. Like, nah, bro, go for it. Or I see you. Or they're going with you on your journey and they're genuinely happy for you, not getting anything from it. But other people are side-eyeing or giving fake, like, man, I'm happy for you. But internally, they're like, man.
In the background, they're saying, nah, he ain't going to make it. He's just another one of those.
Or the reality, that too. Or they're also just like internally, he's doing it. He's doing it.
That's true.
And so it's that mirror that's held up. It's the mirror that's held up because if people see when you're really going for it.
They do.
But people are, and that's why I say everybody's real with themselves because people know if they're really, really going and stepping on the ledge of faith and going forward and really, really attacking their aspirations. Internally, people know that. So most people, if they're not really going for it, they'll know like, man, I'm not really going for it, but I'm seeing Bob's going for it. I'm seeing such and such go for it. And they're actually going for it and they're doing it. It's a mirror that's held up. So you have to really like resonate with the fact of you have to like push yourself. You have to good job yourself. You have to keep going.
Good job,
yourself.
Larry.
No, for real.
No, yeah.
You have to. Because thinking that people are going to support you, a lot of times the support you'll get is going to be from people running up on you that you don't know.
You'll get sometimes you see more of that coming than coming your friends.
Will. Most of the time you will.
Yeah, which is sad, bro.
And I was having this conversation with my cousin because, we were speaking about, just guys, that just have a certain disposition that are, smooth, that are handsome, you know what I mean? There's sometimes hate that comes within that. And then sometimes people will tend to like defer or push away from it. And I was like, nah, you can't, because the reality is when people are hating or when people are showing a certain energy towards you, they're not really mad at you. They're just mad at what you're doing. Yeah. But they know you. So that's why you feel it. If they were to see anybody else, they would be hating on that person too.
Oh, yeah.
But they know you. That's why it hits harder, because they know you and you know them. But they would be mad at anybody that was doing it. But they know you directly. So you feel it and it is personal, but they're not mad at you. They're not really hating on you for real. They really are like, man, he's doing it. I wish I could do that. Or I want to be able to do that. But they know you. So that's why it hits harder when it's like, man, you hating on me and you know me. It's only because they know you.
Yeah.
But it's anybody that's doing it that they would be mad at. So you have to keep going.
Bro, you said it perfect.
You have to keep going.
I had it in my notes too. We're talking about the mirror theory. Like that's what's crazy is I was, thinking about what we could talk about today. But I think the the most important thing is, again, not to take it personal, right? Like when your own friends are not meeting maybe the expectation that you set for them or what you would do for them in that type of moment, it's to not to compare. It's to just realize that there's a mirror that they're looking in and they're just like, I can't hold myself to the expectation that you're holding yourself at. Absolutely. And that makes me feel a type of way about it. So I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to text you and be like, yo, bro, that video was tight. Like what you did, so sweet. I love you. I'm proud of you.
For sure.
What they might do is they might reshare it on their Instagram, not tell you anything and just leave it at that, thinking that's support. But the real support is like, bro, I've been listening to your music. This new song that you just dropped, completely different feel. And I'm enjoying it for real. Like keep going.
Sure.
It's not the online thing, bro. And I think that's the superficialness that it gets clouded for a lot of people when they think they got friends. It's like, oh, it's my birthday. I'm going to post something. Comments galore, 100 comments. Happy birthday, queen, or happy birthday, my boy. No, like, facts. Good luck, you know, blessings. But reality, how many of them called you? And I think getting older, those are things that I look at rather than, you know, the comments or no. Call me and see how things are going. Or it's a random Monday, 3:00. Maybe you're not having the best day, but it's like, yo, bro, I was thinking about you. I hope you're doing well.
Absolutely.
Like those are the ones that go the distance that you see at your wedding that are crying because they're like, bro, I saw you at your weakest point. Yeah. And those are the times that you want to be able to be like, yo, we had so much time to grow together. And that's why I said it's very important for friends to treat their friendships like relationships because man, to say that you're a best friend in a week is kind of crazy. Come on now. Like you gotta go. What do you say? You gotta go. You gotta go the distance to see and put them through tests. You got to experience stuff to be able to be like, all right, cool. I can trust this person to make this decision. So, great start already. I have a lot of notes that I want to get into on this matter, bro. But to dive a little bit deeper on the mirror aspect, what are a couple of things that you feel like are good areas to see that happen early on for some of these guys that are just like, yo, I got like 6 or 7 homies that I hang out with, but how do I look out for stuff or be mindful of things like that? Like what are things that they should look out for?
That's a really good question for one. And I know it might be like counterintuitive in a way to like the question, but for anybody that's on their journey, first and foremost, I would say, don't expect for people to support.
I like that.
Just don't expect it for real. Like, and I mean that in like in a real motivational way. Like if we were to like make this very real, if you're in a tunnel and like you're genuinely in your running, you see the light at the end, but you're not looking at what's going on next to you. That's how you have to look at when you're on your journey. Now for your boys, can you kind of expect it? Of course, because if it's real brotherhood, it will be, it's natural. Yeah. So from people who you hold a high regard to, you can almost have expectations for. People say, oh, you can't have expectations for people. That's not true. For people that you love and care about, you do have expectations for. That's just reality. But subsiding your brothers, if you're trying to just figure it out, see how they respond to your successes or when they see you doing certain things. Because if you know when you see your brothers or your boys doing certain things and you reach out and you're dapping them up and you're happy for them and you're reaching out to them, it has to be reciprocity. Like you said, it's a relationship. A brotherhood is a relationship. Yeah. So if you're doing certain things and you're elevating or you're climbing and you're getting promoted and your boys know and nobody's bigging you up, nobody's showing you love, that's something to look at. We have to be honest about that. That's something to look at because if you do that when they're winning, when they have successes, when they have glories and they have good things that are going on in their life, there's nothing wrong with expecting that back.
No.
So that's necessary. But subsiding brotherhood, don't expect that from anybody else. Don't expect for people to cheer you on and champion you. You have to be able to, and also, I know we're in this social media, space. You don't care about the likes and the comments. And
it's easy to get caught up in that.
If you know you have a quality product and you're putting it out, that's all that matters. Don't resonate. Don't care how many likes did it get, how many people are commenting. Just put it out. Put it out because the reality is quality is going to always be seen. And everybody that's seeing it might not necessarily say something, even though they're supportive. That's also a reality too. There are people that are supporting you and praying for you from afar.
Yeah, and that's needed.
That's
just
needed
as much.
Too. So don't ever get it twisted to just think people have to always verbalize what they're like. That's just not everybody's personality.
Yeah.
Sometimes people see things from afar and they're like, man, I'm rooting for you. I like it. And they keep scrolling, but in their mind, they're like, man, keep going. Keep doing your thing. I'm proud of you. So we can't get caught up in this whole social media realm of likes and comments. No, put out quality and keep going. That's all you can do. Just invest in quality, invest in elevating, and people will see it. But the reality is when you're in that tunnel and you're running and you're putting out quality, you're working, you're persevering, you're staying consistent, things are going to happen. You can't worry about all that other stuff because it's really irrelevant. It's the quality that matters. It's not the response that you're getting, the likes, the comments, the repost. It's you diving into your quality and elevating within that. Things are going to happen. That's all that matters. At least to me.
Yeah. That's
all that matters.
Yeah. And those are, I mean, I like the areas that you touched on what to look out for, especially because, you know, quality is always going to take over and make you feel a type of way with, you know, being in peace, you know, finding people, whether it's 1 to 2 people rather than having 7 to 8 friends that are, you know, aren't as consistent as the first 2. So I think if you focus on quality in, you know, all aspects of life, you're going to be able to see success come, but you can't base an expectation off people. You know what I mean? Like that's where you start getting in trouble with, man, I do something creative. And if I'm not seeing comments from all my friends, it starts messing with your head.
Snapping on people.
You're snapping on people. You're messing with your head, your creative ability. Like we talked about that last week, but it all goes into the same process because if you're not working off the mentality of, okay, my main mission is to put a quality product to make an impact and touch people.
That's it.
You're not thinking about if Julian doesn't hit me up after every time I post saying, bro, I love it, keep going. All you're working off is the validation aspect of it. And that's when it can get into a dark place. But if you're coming from a full place of like, I don't care who hits me up. I don't care what happens. I'm going to just keep doing this. Bro, people are going to come. Then that's when you're like, okay, I'm going to evaluate and make sure, does this align with everything that I want to be? And I think 5 years ago, I would have aligned with a lot of dudes that just wanted to be doing whatever or just said the right things. Like, yo, bro, I want to do this. You know, I want to take this trip. I want to go over here. I want to have 2 ventures on my business. And I'm like, cool, that sounds great because I want to do the same things. But in reality, only one of us is doing it.
Facts.
And we're doing it behind closed doors. And that's not always just on social media. You know what I'm saying? So I think just being able to have the ones that have the different personalities, like me and you, we're completely different people, you know, but we still have the same principle of like, you're working and I'm working.
Absolutely.
Just one of us is a little bit louder about it. Like that's all it is. And I think you need to have a balance of both in your friend group.
Absolutely.
Because then you could pinpoint ideas or be like, yo, Julian, did you peep that over there? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Or when we sit here having a conversation, it's 2 completely different perspectives, bro. And I think that's what people like to see is, you know, you got to have a mixture of opinions, disagreements, agreements. So that way it builds the friendship.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think just having the spirit of discernment, that's ultimate within brotherhood. But just in the space that we're talking about, anybody that's on their journey, just focus on what you have going on. And I know it might seem like counterintuitive, but you can't be worried about the reception that you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like pour into the quality, genuinely pour into the quality and just know, like internally know when you're working and when you're putting things out, like that you're happy with it. So when you put it out, you're like, yeah, nah, I know I did my thing in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way. And to leave it at that. It's not about reaching out or like, yeah, it feels good. But as you're going on, as you continue to climb, it's definitely not going to continue to be like that. A lot of times the support's really just going to come from people who don't know you.
No, bro.
Truthfully, like when you look at, when you watch documentaries and when you look at just different artists or different creatives, who are their support system, not their support system, but their supporters is usually people that don't know them. Because people that know you have seen you when you didn't have anything.
Yeah.
They saw you on the grind. They saw you when you didn't necessarily have certain things. So now they're attaching it to, man, I knew him when he didn't have anything. Now he has this. Now there's so many things attached to it that they're not seeing you for who you really are. They're seeing you for who you were, and they're not necessarily aligning that to, man, look what my boy did, or look what my girl did. They're looking at it like, man, look at him, man. I remember when he didn't have this, man. I remember when none of this was here, and now he's there. So it's like you have to just really resonate with doing your thing, pouring into quality, and leaving it at that.
It's a power trip for real, bro. Like it's so, you mentioned energy earlier. It's so important that the energy that you have around you is genuine, because if it's not, it's gonna suck the life out of you, even if it's not in person. Because one thought will, manifest into the conversations that you have with somebody. And if you're talking to a friend and you're on the fence about something, right? Like a venture or whatever, and you're talking like, you know what, bro, you already got this going on over here. Just focus on that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not coming from the right place. It's coming from the place of, man, I'm not doing this. And he wants to start 2 things compared to me not starting 1. Nah, I don't want that. Because then it's a measuring game, right? Yeah. Who has more money? Who looks better? Who has the shoes? Who has the women? And that happens with men just as much as it happens with women on that side. So the energy part is important too. For sure. You know what I'm saying?
I'll just close it with this because you made me think of this. Yeah, and I don't want to prolong it, but one thing that you asked in regards to like the mirror and to have discernment on, watch out for people that are, we're talking about like a brotherhood or guys that you're around. Watch out for people that are in competition with you or that are trying to compete with you. Yeah. And you'll feel it. Like you'll feel it. It's not something like, it might be subtle, but again, that's why I say discernment. Use discernment. So when you have certain things that you have going on, when people are saying like, oh yeah, you did that, I did this too. Yeah. Or like they're trying to like they're trying to like do the same thing that you're doing, not in like in a motivational way, but on some like, man, you did it, I did it too. Or you're doing that, oh, I'm about to do this too. Like watch out for that because that is draining. And there's no way, that's not brotherhood. Like you're supposed to be collaborative with your brothers. Like, bro, you doing that? Cool. How can I help you with that? Or
that's all it is.
I have this going on. Pull up with me here. Or let's do this together. Not, oh, you doing that? Hey, but last weekend I did that too. Or I did this. Or it's like you will be able to feel it to where it's like, bro, you're trying to compete with me, man. That's not what brothers do. That's not what friends do. And I'll say brothers because friendship is within brotherhood. Yeah, yeah. So for your brothers, when you feel that, don't let that slide. You don't necessarily have to say anything about it. Sometimes you just have to fall back. Like, yeah, man, he's trying to compete with me. I'm about to just fall back. He won't be hearing from me. Sometimes you might have to announce it, but sometimes that could really it could either end a friendship or it could just create a strain on it. Sometimes you just might have to fall back.
Well, a lot of times too, I mean, us guys can be stubborn. We don't actually want to hear what it is that you're doing, what you think we're putting you through. And I think that comes with a lot of maturity, which you can't base your maturity off on other people, bro.
But people know when they're doing that. And that's the thing. I can't necessarily say we can give grace for it because we're all adults. So when we're speaking about guys. So when brothers or guys do that, I can't really necessarily say like, oh, no, he didn't know what he was doing. Bro, you know when you have to pay your bills. You know when you need to put gas in your car. You know when you need to do all these other things. You know when you're trying to compete.
For sure.
So I can't be like, oh, he doesn't know what he's trying to do. No, he very much knows what he's doing. And don't let that slide because it's going to be a constant tug and pull on, man, you're doing this. He's seeing you do this. And he's going to constantly be in a state of, man, I'm seeing him do this. Now I need to announce this. I need to tell him I'm doing this. You can't be around that because
the jokes start happening.
All of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that goes into like, you also have to be, and this is a whole nother conversation, but you have to be aware of how your boys are when women come around. That's a whole nother conversation, though.
Just minding the mental tonight, bro. That's what we're about to talk about next. That's great.
I'll let you go ahead and do your thing.
No, you're good, bro. That's what I'm saying. We work perfect together. That's all. It's salt and pepper. But yeah, bro. So to get into the next conversation and like this one, we can talk about for hours on end. You know, regardless of where we're at with things. But one area that I would say for guys to watch out when it comes to trying to meet other guys and make friendships is. The easiest test that you can put a dude through.
The easiest
test is to surround them around beautiful women. Surround a dude by beautiful women and you're going to see what his true colors are.
Immediately.
Off the rip.
Immediately.
Off the rip. And even better if you are, a handsome group. We'll say there's 3 or 4 of you that, are really handsome. You're really going to see where the maturity stands. And I think it's healthy. I wouldn't say this for relationships, but for guys that are in, friendships with other guys, you got to test out the friendships, bro. You got to put yourself around beautiful women to see, all right, bro, how secure are you in yourself? Yeah. Because back to the jokes, you're going to have that one dude. There's always that one guy in every friend group that's just man, but remember whenever you were out here and you pissed yourself or like, I remember whenever your car declined, like, it's like, bro, what? Like, what was saying all that? Yeah. And there's so many social media videos that, people make fun of those types of pick-me dudes. That's what they call them on. But it's true, bro. Yeah. It's true. So, Julian, again, talk to us a little bit about what that looks like, bro. Like the guy that just is overly willing to just be and perform around women.
And that's why I say immediately, like, it is discernment, but this is something that you'll pick up on right away. So the moment that you spot something like that, if you're out, you just have to notate that and be like, hey, look, I'm not kicking it with him ever again. Genuinely.
You said ever.
For real. No,
yeah,
for real.
No, I feel it.
It almost might be something
it.
that you might have to announce depending on the situation.
Well, how bad it gets. Yeah, especially if there's alcohol involved.
What it is. You might have to make an announcement. Excuse me. But, just depending on, it's very situational. But it's something that you do need to notate and be like, yeah, no, that's out. Because that's not how brothers, that's, like I always say, you want for yourself, you want for your brothers what you want for yourself. And that comes from when you are around women too. So if you're flowing, you want your brother to flow. It's not a competition thing. It's all about just having a good time and having fun. So if anything, you big your boys up like, hey, my brother, he's doing his thing, this and that. The slightest amount of, man, I remember, like you said, I remember we went here, man, and you fell and you scraped your knee. It's like, bro, what type of time are you on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or yelling out random stuff like, hey, man, you got change for 5,000. You know what I mean? Just saying weird stuff, trying to get the attention. It's like, you know what I mean? That's out. Yeah. So it's like you have to pay attention to it because although you might think that's a big thing. That's not small because
especially if they don't act like that, and that's where like didn't mean to cut you off, but like that's where. If they don't act like that, you have the jokester friends. You have them. But if they're not consistent with how they act around men to women, that's when it's like, you're done.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'll just say this, and I'll be very brief with it. When you do stuff like that, you're really helping your boy for her to choose up on him for real. That's what you're really doing. Because if you don't think women notice that, you're tripping. They definitely do. So when you do corny stuff like that, all you're doing is really giving your boy... I wouldn't say they're your brothers, but you're giving the guy the assist for real. Yeah. So subsiding that, it's just something that's super, super out of pocket. So the moment any guy peeps something like that, you need to be aware of that. That's something that you don't let slide. I wouldn't let it slide. Like, I wouldn't.
No, for sure.
I mean, it's just something that you can't because the reality is that's immediate competition where he's trying to compete with you. And that's not how brothers move. You don't compete with your brothers. You only collaborate with them.
Yeah.
So anything that's competitive, now there's good competitive nature that you have.
Oh yeah, there's places
you should
for
have
that.
a competitive nature just within, but you're not supposed to compete with your brother.
No.
If you're even the only time you're supposed to like have a healthy competition is let's say you're working out or you're playing a sport and it's for the betterment of you all getting better. So you're pushing your boy and you're competing. That's the only time that you compete. And anything else, and that's still collaborative. There's just a competitive nature within it.
Iron sharpening iron, bro.
That's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? But if it's that's it perfectly. If it's not iron sharpening iron, it's competition.
For sure.
And it's somebody trying to usurp gas that you have and trying to take it for them. And it's like, no, that's just not brotherhood. So you just have to be careful of all of that and have a spirit of discernment to peep it and be like, yeah, no, that's out.
And that's why I said like earlier on, it's important that you view to a certain extent that your friends are a direct representation of who you are. Because like we did, we threw together a really cool social in 2025 before the year ended. And, we had talked, me, you, and Deshaun, and I'm like, we're trying to figure out, okay, what's the vibe? What, what type of people are we inviting? And not to say that it was like a reminder. It was more of just like a joking around thing. Like, all right, let's all make sure that we, act accordingly. Like, just be yourself. That's all you got to do. Just be yourself. And even though it was just out of a playful manner, I feel like it's healthy to be able to talk to your boys like that. Because, bro, if I had somebody who I, just met and I brought them around women that I knew of, you knew of, and they just start acting crazy by doing stuff like that. That's what I call crazy. Like that, doing stuff that's kind of kiddish and, just immature. I would feel like that's how I look like as a man because I brought him around and it's like, bro, why did you even invite this guy? Like he's acting like that. What does that say about you? So I think it's very like, you got to be very intentional with the people that you're hanging out around because that's not to say you're above not acting like that yourself. Because if you're around something so much, you're going to pick up on it naturally and it's going to show up in different, maybe not verbally, but just how you make your faces when someone talks, like you're talking about something, whether it's music or your fashion. And I'm just like, what? Bro? Like what? And like women notice that, bro. They notice everything.
For sure.
So women note, hey, like I peeped your boy. He was looking at you kind of like weird when you mentioned, you're just like, what, really? Like, I don't want friends like that because again, you are setting an assist up for a guy that you thought or you say is your brother. And it's just not cool, bro.
Yeah, no, cool. For sure. I mean, there are rare cases to when that not to say that happens, but in event of that happening, there are rare cases to where there are just things that happen like that, and then there are announcements that can be made, or you pull somebody to the side, or there are things like that. But for the majority of the part, if people know you and then they see something like that, I don't think people will attribute that to, oh, this is how this person is. I think a lot of people have the wherewithal to know, like, man, I know my boy doesn't act like this, but whomever he invited, they're tripping. Like, they can see, like, people can usually see that.
Oh, yeah. Like, from homie, homie to homie. But I'm saying, like, the women on the other side, it's like, they can be like, oh, well, he brought him. I know them. And it's just one of those odd things. I think
they can even see that too, though, to where it's like, if they know the character of who you are, and they know they've been around you, and they see an off-brand situation like that. That's true, yeah. I think, people are smart enough to have the discernment to be like, I know this person who is the host of whatever situation, this other person who is invited is unbecoming of how this person acts. They can like disassociate and know, like, I know, like, this is just a wild situation. Like, he probably didn't even know this person was going to act like this. So I think people have the conscious mind to know, like, it's very nuanced, but in a situation like that, I think people can decipher, like, yeah, this is a rare case. Like, this isn't something, like, my boy wouldn't have invited him or her if they were gonna, trip or tweak out like this. So those are rare cases.
That's a good call out for sure. Do you think there's a right way to handle that situation if it gets that way, in terms of choosing whether or not to address it at the function or to wait till maybe the next day?
No, absolutely. I think this is the severity of whatever it is. Sometimes things have to be addressed right then and there.
Yeah,
you have to pull somebody to the side and be like, hey, look, you're tripping. Or, like, you need to tone it down, or you have to leave. You know what I mean? And there's always somebody in the friend group or the brotherhood for sure. That's going to be the one to do that. That's not necessarily everybody.
And it's coming from a loving place. Sure. It's not coming from a place where it's wilding out. Like, it's love.
But there has to be that person that just discerns it and is like, that person is going to be willing to step in and be like, hey, look, check it out. Step outside real quick. You know what I mean? Like, and have a real conversation in love and in respect, but to let it be known, like, you're tripping. And depending on where it is, either tone it down or you have to leave. Because you never want it to get to a certain place. That's not what it's about. Yeah. But that just has to happen. But again, I think it's just to it depends on the severity of the situation. It's very case by case. Sometimes you peep things and you just let it ride and you're like, yeah, that person won't ever get an invite again. Or it might get to a place to where you have to be like, hey, bro, check it out. You need to come outside real quick. We need to have a conversation.
And you never wanted to go to that place. Yeah, for sure.
But even if it does, it's still like, yo, if there's alcohol involved, if you're just a little too lit, it's like, bro, you got to tone it down. Like, you're just a little bit too.
I just mean, like, the intent. Like, it's never in an intentional place of, like, I'm taking you up right outside after one thing that you do. Or, like, I think when it's coming from a loving spot, it's never to embarrass your boy. Like,
that's why you step outside.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why, like, handling things like that is all coming from a loving place. Absolutely. Now, whether or not they take it that way, it's a simple, like, explanation of, bro, I could have really just put you in your place in front of everybody. Yeah. As somebody that's, whatever. But I think the fact that everything's coming out of love, and when you're doing it the right way, even if it doesn't come off that way to the other person, it's like, bro, I handled this very, respectfully towards you because you're my boy. Like, I love you. We've been through stuff, but, we all have off days at the end of the day. Cause, I won't say that all the time guys act like that because they're immature. I think some guys just genuinely get nervous too. Like small cases of guys just getting nervous. So they say before they think, and
that's true.
They slip up. That's why I'm saying, like, some guys really just don't know how to operate around women. And I won't get into this too much, but I was watching a video and this dude was talking about how there's an app for how to flirt with women. It's like a Hitch app. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, he was talking about it, and promoting it. And I'm thinking, I mean, bro, I don't know. It's not that deep. If you're just having a genuine conversation, you're not trying to get anything out of it. It's just talking to a person. Yeah. But I don't know, bro. Like, I want to hear your thoughts a little bit on that. We can go to the final topic of the night. But what do you think about all that?
Well, I think, just all of these just different talking points that people have on just interactions with women. I would say genuinely, I think for one, it's too much of a nuanced situation to, like, try to pinpoint ways that you can go about it. Like, it's almost saying, like, for us growing up and being and knowing how it feels to play outside and, like, see your homies and see bikes on a yard and, like, oh yeah, my boys are in that crib. Like, there's certain things to where you just have to, like, have experienced it or know what it feels like to experience it to be able to like speak on. So to try to like speak on how to flirt or how to converse with, like, it's too nuanced because every woman is different.
Yeah,
that's
true.
There's not one way to do it. How you might speak to one woman, and we're talking about respect here, but how you speak to one woman isn't going to be how you speak to another.
Oh, yeah.
How you flirt, it's gauging based on conversation, based on like what she's talking about, you know, the topics, you know, the vibe. It's an energy thing. So you can't put this is a bullet point.
It's not a formula.
There's no formula to it. So creating these like we were talking about in the previous episodes, these formats on success or speaking, or it's like, nah, you just need to get in the field and have conversations. Like, just like you laugh and converse and have conversations with your boys, what's the difference when you're conversing with a woman? It's no different. You still want to laugh. You still want to have good conversation. You still want to speak, engaging. You want to still have good body language. It's no different. So to have a playbook on how to do it, it's like, nah, man, there's no need for that. Just get in the field and converse. It's
Give
that
it a shot.
simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
We all fail.
And there's the reality, and I'll leave it at this. There's no such thing as game. There's no such thing as like either you know how to like have conversation. Now, yes, flirt, like being flirty, that is a thing.
Yeah.
But if you know how to have conversation, you know how to have conversation. A lot of times people, they attribute conversation to game. To me, game, that's playing. You're trying to play a game. If you're talking to a woman, a person, you're having a conversation. If you're a man, you're speaking to a woman, you're having a conversation. You don't need game. Just speak. Speak. Now, if you know how to converse a certain way, it could be looked at a certain way, but that's not what it is. It's just genuine conversation, or you know how to use your words, or you know how to like curate the situation. That's something totally different. But you shouldn't be trying to like, you shouldn't be sitting down thinking like, man, I'm about to run some game. Like, nah, that's not the mindset. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be your mindset.
No,
like,
that's real funny.
I'm trying to run some game.
Because I know
right
there's
now.
got to be some dudes out there that are doing that.
And
like,
in their mind,
like
running through
hyping it
bullet
up.
points. Nah, that's not it.
Pulling out the phone saying, what does the app tell me today?
Yeah, or just in their mind trying to like trying to figure out like, okay, what should I say right here? Like, no, just have conversation. It's that simple. It's not something you should overthink. When you jump in the water, you either swim or you don't swim. It's no other option. If you jump in the water, if you're in a pool, you either swim or you don't swim. There's no other option.
So I have a man. So I have the man on the podcast right here.
You either do the breaststroke, the backstroke. You either do the butterfly. But
butterfly is crazy.
It's whichever form. But again, it's whichever style you want to do.
Yeah.
It's all different types of style to swimming. It's all different types of style.
And hey, somebody likes a butterfly. Yeah. Some woman out there likes a butterfly.
But you don't hop in the water and think, how am I about to swim?
Yeah.
No, that's drowning. That's drowning at that point. So it's the same. If that's just called I'm just giving like an example.
But for sure.
That's the reality. It's like, look, if you're having just have conversation. It's not that
deep.
It
is, bro.
It's just really not that deep.
This is what it is. Just really dropping facts right now, bro. That's good advice. I hope y'all are listening. Good job, Larry. But no, man, to kind of end this conversation on topic about like looking for, friends, specifically male friends. We touched on it a little bit earlier in the show, but boundaries and figuring out, understanding when that time is like that you peep of like, okay, well, I'm going to distance myself a little bit. I've talked to some people about this and they don't necessarily agree because it can be seen as a tit for tat thing, but I'm fully on board with boundaries and distance. I think it's healthy. I think if you have a genuine friend, there are going to be times that you come across where, things don't align, seasons, whatever. But I think there does need to be some distance and boundaries that are set based off of how you evaluate the friendship. If you truly feel like you've invested time, energy, reaching out to them, and they still only show up in specific ways, I mean, maybe that's all they can give at that moment. But it's not up to you to say to them, like, bro, you're being a bad friend. You got to be able to say for yourself, like, look, I am being able to take everything they're giving me. Now I know what they can give and their capacity of giving. So I'm going to just make sure that that's exactly where it stays. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly where it stays, but that's not going to change how I interact with them. That's just all they can give. And sometimes you're going to have those friends that understand that and that can, you know what, bro, you're right. I'm going to, I'm going to take that. I'm going to work on it and I'm going to be better. And then there's people that are going to be like, nah, bro, you're crazy. But I think that's when you got to make the conscientious decision of, is this a friend that I want in my circle that's going to help me build whatever it is that I'm building? Because we all got to build.
Yeah.
As men, we got to build. We got to provide for ourselves. And eventually, if a family is what you want, a family, the legacy is coming with that. But I can't seem to stop thinking about the friends that I have and that I want to bring into my life. They got to be with me at my wedding, bro. And if you can't fit in that line, whether it's 3, 4, or 5,
for sure.
If you can't fit in that line, we don't need to be hanging out that much, consistently. You don't need to be brought into plans. You don't need to be brought into my aspirations. Like, you're just a cool dude.
Yeah. And that would make me ask, well, then at what point does one realize, and this is just a general question.
Yeah.
At what point does one realize that in whatever space that person just isn't a friend?
That's true.
Like, you can't force a friendship, or you can't, yes, we can have boundaries, but I think we can't get into it. And this is just to be very, very honest. We can't get into a space to where we're like extracting so much from the onion to where it's like, oh, this is my friend, but I'm extracting all these layers from what he's doing to still hold on to the friendship. It's like, nah, bro, either you're a friend or you're not. Like, either you're going to be there or you're not. Now, yes, there are seasons of all of our lives to where there's ups and downs, there are things that happen. But for your boy, you're still like, it's no real like pulling away. Like, truthfully, there's no real pulling away. Like, yes, as men, we have things that we go through. So it's like there might be times to where you might be thugging it out. You're just trying to figure things out, but your brothers, that's what can help. That's what brotherhood is there for.
Yeah.
To where it's like in those times of need. Now, how far you go in venting and doing certain, like some things you just hold within, but certain things you relinquish to your brothers, and it's like, man, bro, this is what's going on. Or just having your brothers there, it might just be what it is for just helping you. But at what point like I said, do we extract from this onion of friendship to where it's like, he's still my friend, but I got to accept that from him. I got to accept that from him. He's not there for that. He doesn't know how to maneuver in this. It's like, man, it just might not be a friend. Truthfully, that's just to be very, very brutally honest. That just might not be a friend for real. Because to constantly have to like, to make exceptions for, oh, they're not doing this, or he's not doing that, and he's not there for this, or it's like, it could look like, I mean, again, I'm just speaking generally. It could look like one is trying to like hold on to a friendship that they know in their mind that the other person is just not operating on. So it's like, that's not friendship. That's somebody who holds friendship true to their heart, operating within friendship. And it's not, again, being reciprocated. It has to be reciprocity in both situations in friendship. So I would say at a certain point, one has to evaluate, is this person just a friend or a brother? And then at that point, there's a real realization that might has to come to where it's like, man, just distance happens and time elapses. And it's just like, at one point we tried to be friend, but it just wasn't it. That's just the reality. Because brothers, at least from how I operate, I'm never pulling away from my brothers. That's just not how it is. Like, yes, we have different seasons in our lives to, excuse me, where we go through things and things like that. But that's your brother. That's the nucleus of you. You need that for real. You need your brothers in times of need, or when even if it's just like, bro, I need to pull up, or just pull up, man. Or let's just go get something to eat. Like, that's what you need your brothers for. Now, there might be times where you just might be doing things by yourself, or you just need time for yourself. But nah, brotherhood is important. In the Bible, it talks about how important brotherhood is.
It's essential.
David and Jonathan, Damian and Pythias. Like, it talks about faith of a friend and a friend, real brother. Like, brotherhood is like essential, man. It's really essential to the soul. So it's like, I would just, again, discernment. But at a certain point, one has to really recognize, like, man, is this even really a friend? Because how much you gonna pull away from the onion to where you get down and it's like, we just at pieces. There's no even nucleus to it anymore. But there's still a friend. It's like, no, that's not a friend.
Yeah. No, it's like you said, you gotta take the time to figure that out. That looks different for everyone, but sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's 2 months. I mean, everyone has their own definition of what a friend is. And I think both you and I, which is why I think we're so strong in how our relationship's grown, is, we see friends as brothers. Like,
absolutely.
Anytime that I, walk up on somebody, I'm like, oh, it's my brother, Julian. Same thing with you. I think that's why this works, because intentionally, week on week, for the last year, we've decided to see each other, hang out. Even if it's not this, or even if it is this, we hang out for another 30 minutes. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if it was just this, it's like, bro, let me catch you on Saturday. Like, we'll hang out, we'll do something. Let's go grab food. Sure. And I think the last thing that I'll end with, guys, is when you have those things that you want to do in your life, when, you know, it's $1 million idea and you finally have the courage to bring it to your homie, and you're just like, yo, I got this idea. This is what I want to do. This is the plan for it. You've done all the due diligence beforehand before you bring it to them, and they sit there and they tell you, like, bro, how can I help? You don't even got to ask. That's how you know you got a real one, you know? And I think that's like the overall thing that you can look for is if you have a guy in your life, a homie who is of service, and I keep saying that word time and time again, but it is hard to find good people that are of service nowadays. And when you find that, you got to keep it. You got to keep it, because the more times that you are struggling, like you said, whether it's emotional damage or whether it's physical damage or, you know, regardless of what you got in your life, that brother is going to stand up for you, bro. That is going to come in. And there's been studies, there's been, you know, I heard a podcast talking about how the lack of brotherhood is going on. There's a lack of brotherhood happening right now around the whole world. And guys are just having less and less guy friends to be able to like hit it off with, or to be able to go watch a game with, or just have food with. And I think it's got to be at the forefront of anything. So that way, whenever you do fall down, you got a homie just saying, yo, bro, it's time. Like, you had your time, but it's time to get back up. Yeah.
And this just makes me think of, like, you know, a lot of times, and I reflect back to coaches saying this, and it's super, super powerful in any sports. Anybody that's played sports, I'm pretty sure they've heard a coach or their coach or a multitude of coaches say, I'm speaking to you because I care. When I stop speaking to you, that's when you need to be concerned. And that's one of the realest things, for real, when you think about it, because when that coach is on you and they're talking to you and they're on you, and you like, man, why is he constantly on me like this? He cares for real, because there's players on that team he's not speaking to.
That's true.
Or he's giving very minimal energy. But in a young state of mind, you might not really see it from that perspective or understand. When you really mature and understand, you got to be thankful for that, for real. So that's also within brotherhood. It's like, hey, look, I'm reaching out. I'm speaking to you because I care. When I stop reaching out, and when you stop hearing from me, this goes for a multitude of things. Brotherhood, women, friends, just people. When you stop hearing from me, that's when it's like, I'm speaking to you because I care. When you stop hearing from me, that's when you need to be concerned. And that's a real thing. And I think one has to get into a place in their life when they're just like, yo, internally, this is just how I'm moving. Like, I'm reaching out because I care. And it's not an announcement that you make. It's just an internal thing, to where it's like, hey, look, I know in my heart when I stop speaking, it's because I've done everything. I can't be constantly pouring, constantly asking, constantly seeing what's going on, and there's no reciprocity. At a certain point, silence. And you just move on, and you build and connect with the brothers that are on that. And that's just the reality. We in 2026, like I said, we fresh in the new year. Yeah. We all starting off with A's. So it's like, hey, look, can't start off in the year. And it's for everybody. Starting off trying to pour and trying to like, if there's no reciprocity, that's with anybody. Look, if there's no reciprocity, I don't care who it is. If there's no even family members, if there's no reciprocity, then what is it?
That's a good point, bro.
If it's not reciprocity, it's finessing.
Yeah.
If you're not operating in reciprocity, you're finessing. If there's a woman and she's pouring into a guy and he's just receiving, he's finessing her, or vice versa. If a guy's pouring into a woman and pouring and she's finessing him. If there's a brotherhood and a brother's pouring into his brother and it's not being reciprocated, it's a finesse. And then at what point is somebody going to keep allowing themselves to get finessed? Emotionally.
Because that's not on them, that's on you.
It's on you. Once you peep the signs, and that's why I said, when you keep peeling the onions and you're saying like, man, we getting to the bottom and there's how much are we going to extract before we just like, yo, this is not a friend. Yeah. She's not a friend. And that's something that somebody has to like understand internally, and just, it has to resonate internally before there's any type of like real movement. But that's all an internal thing. It's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
No, that's so good. I think I want to end with that. So, to take us out, bro, I want you to tell us one thing that guys can do to put themselves in a situation to be able to meet some good people out there. In this case, good homies that can, help them thrive in their dreams, aspirations, and goals they have for 2026.
Yeah, I think one thing that like, and how do I put this? Because I think guys all know what I'm about to say, but you have to operate on it. Whether you're in the gym, whether you're on the basketball court, wherever you are, there's a lot of times when you can see an archetype or you're around a guy to where you're like, yo, I know he would be one of my homies. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. You can see that to where you're like, yo, you have certain characteristics or you have a certain humor or you dress a certain way, operate a certain way, and it's like how I am, or it's like how I am with my other boys.
Yeah.
You can see that on other guys. Within that, there's nothing wrong with going up and being like, hey, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I see certain things within you. You remind me of one of my homies, man. Like you remind me of like somebody who like you have certain characteristics to where it's like, yo, without you even know it, you're a homie. Like you can, and then you build from that. There's nothing, because that's really what it is. That's how you develop friendship. You see somebody, and even before that, you're like, yo, bro, is like really like we're like the same. Yeah. Like we play
exactly
sports.
What you're talking about.
We like to dress. Yep. You know what I mean? We have a certain mind frame. We're in the gym. Like you already see certain qualities. So if you see it from afar, there's nothing wrong with going and being like, hey, bro, I just want to let you know I see you doing your thing, man. But like you remind me and you operate like somebody who would be one of my homies, man. Sure. I'm Julian, man. Nice to meet you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look, take my line down. We'll connect. It's that simple. That's how you build for real. Because that's really what it is. So step on into that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, do it because it's gonna be received. Like, man, you know what? I've been seeing you do your thing too, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what it is. But I don't think a lot of people step into that space. So step into that space for real, because that's if you can see that, other guys can see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think sometimes we can just be in our own zone to where we see it and we just go on about our day. But that could really be like a real homie.
And who knows? You probably don't have any homies either.
You never know. You never know what God has in store. And God could have that in place to where it's like, yo, that's really a friend for you. That's really a brother for you. But build that, because faith without works is dead. You still have to work.
Still gotta work.
But like, go ahead and step on that ledge and let guys know, like, bro, I've been seeing you doing your thing in the gym, man. Like you remind me of some of my homies, or you remind me of like somebody who would be one of my homies, man. Sure. You know what I mean? And then exchange info. Do it. Do it, because it's real, and it's like, that's how it starts off anyway.
Yeah.
It might just be in a different situation, but it's like, that's how it goes. So if you're seeing it, step on into that. Like, it's cool.
I think that's a beautiful way to end, episode 2 in 2026, y'all. Put your humility out there. That's what it comes down to. Like, take off the straitjacket and just be your genuine, unapologetic self, like I said last week. So if you're hearing this, you're watching this, make it a point to go out there this year and be able to make those friends. Find a dude that you can just go up to and be like, yo, bro, like, you look good. Like, let me get you my number so that way we could possibly hang out and see if this works out or not. Like, you gotta approach it again like you're approaching relationships. Be intentional about it. But yeah, man, I hope you guys have a great night. And again, it's 2026, so you guys stick to it. Keep doing your thing. Keep supporting. We love you guys, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Dude.